Welcome back, everybody, to Super-Duperville, Episode 1, New Beginnings. Great name. Okay, I am Mike of Dragon Rider Gaming. Thank you for joining me. So, I have three very simple goals for this episode. The first is I'd like to do an overview of the landscape and give you a nice cinematic view of what's going on. Secondly, I'd like to start setting up our battery / starting block so we can start working towards the goal of our 10,000 persons in that area. We're actually going to change it to 11,000 because I think that's the milestone for small city. And finally, the third goal will be to reach the fourth milestone. So the first milestone is Little Hamlet at 440 people. The second milestone is Worthy Village at 900 people. The third milestone is Tiny Town at 1,400 people. And finally, we get to Boom Town at 2,400 people. So what we're going to start off with here is a nice cinematic view of the entire landscape. I've used the Cinematic Extensions camera mod, I think that's what it's called, to do a pan around that I'm going to feature at the start and end of every episode. So what you're seeing here is you're seeing the camera slowly pan around in a 360-degree circle of our starting area. I may change the positioning of it as we move forward to get better glimpses of the new builds as we continue to expand our city. Okay, so now that we've had our tour of the city, now we're going to jump in to start building our city, right? You know, start the starting block here. So I'm going to move over to this angle. There's three things that we need to do right off the bat when we start a new city. Number one is, you see how dark it is out here with the green? I have a mod that's called Daylight Classic. And if you look how dark it is out there, I'm going to switch it to After Dark and back to Alta Classic. So I switch it there, really vibrant. But let me go back to that. That's a little bit more of a nice green. This is typically how I like to build my cities and keep it in the daytime. So it's not overly vibrant, but it's nice, and it gives a nice tone to everything. The second thing I do is, well, let's do that right now. We go into our budget, and we take our budgets and we turn them all down. We're going to turn these up probably pretty quickly after we start, but you always want to start off because you're going to be losing money right off the start. So you always want to minimize how much you're losing because you don't have anybody in the city anyway. So why spend the money on the utilities and such? The roads I probably won't turn up for a while, but we'll come back around to that. The third thing, is I always check this entrance into my city. And I do that simply by just going and picking the smallest road I got. I'm not actually going to lay it down. I'm just going to go 90 degrees off to the side of it and see if it's straight. And as you can see, that sucker's going at a pretty heavy angle there. Just to double check on the other side, see how quickly it goes outside of the lines of the city. So in order to address this, if you don't have mods, you're kind of SOL, you might be able to, do a little bit of a weird angle on the road and get it straight. But since I use mods, I have the Move It mod. So the Move It mod, it pops up down here with the press of M. And I go to the marquee selection, which is the box. You have the single selection, which is just a dot. Marquee selection, which is the box, and then you got your copy and you got your bulldoze icons over here. Then you have your additional actions, or more tools, I guess it's called. So I'm going to select the marquee selection, and all I'm going to do is just select these inlet roads here. Oops, I want to get more of them there. There we go. I'm going to select these inlet roads, and if you hold down Control and you press, it's actually opposite of the direction you would think. So if I press left, it bumps it over just a hair, and I'm going to go 2 of them. So I moved it over to the left 2 spaces. Let's back out of this and grab our road, and that's typically how much you have to move it to get it lined back up with the city. So that's pretty darn good. It's moving right along this edge of that road pretty darn good. Fairly smooth over here. That's a heck of a lot straighter than it was. So outside of that, let's start building our city. What I do is typically, if you come out here and you actually lay the road down, I'm going to delete this right away, but you come out here, you see how it's 4 units to the edge of the city and 5 units goes out of the city. So we want to utilize that. We don't want to build right to the edge of the diagram here, but to make sure that we have enough room to build, I usually go up 6 units, come over 4 units, and come back to the center point of 2 units. We zoom in here, we can get right to 2 units there, and come up another 6 units. So this right here is going to be the start of our main highway. I usually put in a fairly large road, a 6-lane 2-way road, so that I can send it out and have it long enough. And I'm not going to go out a ton, I'm just going to go out 50 units with this. Okay, so what that's going to get me is 50 units here, plus another 12 units back to the start of this, plus another 4 units, roughly another 15 units. It's going to be enough that when I build along here, it's going to have a full build area available at the edge of the city. Now, since I'm in America and I go with right-hand drive lanes, not left-hand drive, I would normally put my industry on the right so that trucks can come right into the city, turn right, make it the easiest inlet for them, and they get right to their industry area. However, since I have a big old mountain over here on the side, turn down this view, you can see the height of it. I'm only going to build out here about 50 units because I don't have landscaping right now. I can't modify the ground. It's not going to come until a little bit later on. When's landscaping? 1400. So we got to get to, what is that, Tiny Town? So since I can't terraform this and make more room, I'm going to put the industry on this side because industry doesn't require nearly as much space as residential. And again, this is just a block grid build. It's nothing special. Whoops, I'm jumping around to the wrong roads here. I want my 3-lane 1-way. And I also have a mod that unlocks all the roads right at the start. I didn't need to put down that first piece at all. So we're going to come up here. We're going to, since we know it's 12 units, we're just going to come up 6 units and curve this in. Same thing on this side. Come up 6 units, curve it in. That gets us a nice lane. We'll switch over to our reverse direction, and now we have a nice inlet with reverse directions. All right, so from here on out, all I'm going to build with to start off with is just the 2-lane 1-way road, and I'm going to give you a brief overview of what I do, and then I'm going to break and then build the whole thing in a lot faster speed mode. Okay, so I come up 10 units from the start. If you don't have the, what is this one? I believe it is engineering something. I'll have to look up the name of the mod. I'm sorry. I'll put it in text on the screen what the actual name of it is. But it gives you the unit size and it gives you your angles and stuff. You see how it says 58%, 50%, 72%? Gives you those angles and stuff instead of having just to use your construction cost. But 10 units is 400 in construction cost for the 2-lane road, or you just can look at the unit size. So I come over 10 units and then I go up. But I want to see what the length of this is. So it is right at 100 units. But that takes us right to the edge, and I do want to build on the outside of that. So if it was 100 units there, we'd have to come back to 96. So I think I'm just going to put it right at 90. Yeah, because that's fine. That gets us out far enough. Because what I like to do is I always start with a 10-unit section here on the inside, and then I try and build in 20-unit increments. So I want to go out another 80 units so I can do my crossroads at 20-unit increments. Now all these are just block builds. This is going to come right back in to the 10-unit point and connect up there. Now, I don't know why that's acting like that. That's a little wonky. Yeah, so that's fine. I actually could have built it out another unit. I forgot I went with the 6-lane road instead of the 4-lane road like I normally do. So we do that. And what that's going to allow us to do too down here is to make sure that when we build across here, you see how we have the full availability to build against this side, and maybe even some extra big buildings can go along this side if we want. This is residential side anyway, so we're not going to be doing a hell heck of a lot of that. And normally I would have this already spaced out. I would only go 20 units over and get this put in place. Whoops, that's 21 units. So we can go back one. And I always double check. Whoops, I did the same thing twice. I always double check my spacing there to make sure that I'm at the proper length. You know, you can always just go over and check, okay, it's 20 units. It says they're perfect. Come over another 20, 19, 21, it's right there, 20 units. Another 20, double check, yep. So that's kind of how I set up my grid. Now there's a purpose that I do this, and that's because I want to build commercial on both sides of this and fill it in with commercial, and then we have a space between the commercial and residential so there's no issues. Okay, so that's pretty much how I build it. I'm going to go, let's see here, probably get out 50 units on this side. That's 60 units. We'll stay at 50 units on this side just to be safe. Okay, so I didn't build that much more. I'm sorry. I thought I was going to build it out further, but then I started looking at the amount of money I have left here, and I really need to get the power and everything in place. So we're going to drop a power plant down right on the inside here, right up to the edge here, right next to the highway. We don't care about it polluting out that far. Well, let's keep it off the... I want to keep it off to the right side over here where you see the ring coming out. I don't want it to impede further than that. So we'll stick the power plant right there on the end, which should give us the ability to run some power cables right across the highway here, nice and easy. Now I have the toggle, I always have trouble saying this word, toggable whiteness mod. Okay, which means that I have to have this panel open via F1 in order to see these kinds of things, which is nice because sometimes I don't want the background stuff in the way when I'm doing some builds and stuff. But in this case, I do want it up there so I can see exactly where I'm going with my power lines here to get them over to said residential area. I know that's not straight. That doesn't matter. We're not worried about that right now. The other thing we're going to do is we're actually going to run it up the inside of the road on this side. So, well, do we want to do that, or do we want to run it this way? We have enough room out here. We could actually run it this way. Why don't we do that? Why don't we make this a little bit more purty? Set this on this side. Can we get all the way across with that? Yes, we can. We should be able to then get down here. I'm going to turn snapping off. Forget what my hotkey is for that. So I can just run this right down to the corner, behind all these, boom, and right down to the water where we're going to be putting in our water pumping station. So we'll do that. Let's get that water pumping station in right now. That one there. Let's get a sewer drain just a little bit down the road. We don't want it too far because we don't want to spend a lot of money on electricity, and we're not going to be using this area for a whole heck of a lot other than just getting this stuff in place. So, and let's send this one up in here, and then send some power down to him. Excellent. So that's all hooked up. Now we just need to get our water lines ran. And if you know from anybody that's done videos in the past, wherever you start, doesn't really matter where you start, but wherever you start, and you put in your first water line, bring it across to here, nice and straight, hopefully. Did I have that nice and straight? Oh, I turned snapping off. I'm like, why is it not? Come on, get to the button. There we go. So that's a little bit better. So I like to start on a road, but I try and put the blue circle to the edge of my territory where I'm going to do it. And then when you come down to the other end, I always take that to the end of the road. The magic number here is 22 units or 440 cost. And therefore, when you put this in place and you start to go back, you see it just puts a very small overlap. And that should get us good water coverage. We have to run it down here to connect up. And I know that's going to be a weird angle. Actually, let's do it nice and straight. Yeah, that'll work. Now I can't connect in. Not enough money? You gotta be kidding me. Okay. Well, we don't need this side as much right off the bat. We'll just have to make sure that before we expand, we get them in place. We have $160 left, and we got our city ready to go. So we should have power running to everything right behind all the residents we're about to drop in. So let's get them in here and get this sucker going. So you see the nice open space here we have at the end. I'm going to put municipals along this end here. So I'll put the grade school and high school, that kind of stuff. Maybe some parks, all that kind of good stuff. Look at that. Just right off the bat, we're already at Little Hamlet, 440. Now we got taxes and loans, which we're going to first immediately bump up our taxes from 9 to 12%. And we also have garbage, healthcare, and education. Now, the way I work with garbage and healthcare is I wait until I see, at least at the start of the game, I wait until I see people complaining about said services, and then I install the services. So we could put in a medical clinic right away, but why spend the money? Nobody's sick. Nobody's going to get sick because I have industry and residential separated. But hey. So let's get rolling. We got a little bit of money with this, so that's good. I'm actually going to slow it down. Okay, it does slow down automatically for me here. That's good. Let's drop in. We got super high industry demand. So we're going to put them in here. So we're going to reserve this for something other than a coal plant. We'll probably put another coal plant out here just to separate them. I know some people stack their coal plants on top of each other, but when you're looking at a situation like this, you really need to make sure that you get these guys power. You really need to make sure that you don't put them right next to each other, because if there is any kind of traffic issue down the line that trucks can't get here, maybe one can get back here or over here or something and still get the coal to the plant so you don't run out of power. Oh, and you may have noticed I did put two one-way roads here. The purpose for that is just this, so that people can flow in and get in. It only allows people in. If they want to get out, they got to go all the way up here to get out. So this will be, and I'll fix this on Traffic Manager shortly, I will have a left, a right, and a straight on so that these guys can get into this business as quickly as possible. That's more than enough industry for right now because there isn't that much of a demand off the start. Nobody's complaining about much of anything. Good. How is our power doing? So one of the things I have is another mod that actually helps control this. You can see we're getting down into a range, but it adds this slider here. I forget which mod this is. I'll throw it up on the screen as well. But just a convenient factor so you don't have to go into the planning guide every single time and budget and stuff. Oh, I did raise taxes. Let's get taxes up. And if you didn't know, a little tidbit on this one as well, 12% is your magic number. You want to stay at 12% on everybody. And that way nobody complains. You go to 13%. I think commercial starts complaining first and then residential, especially when you get into the high density areas. So stick it at 12% and leave it there. I know some people play a trick of raising the rates way up to earn some money quickly. I just leave it as it is. Let them earn money as they normally would. And it makes life a lot easier. Let's get in here to Traffic Manager. There's two things I want to change. Because this exit here, and yes, I'm outside the city, but with Traffic Manager and some other camera mods that I have, it does help control things a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do, just take this road here. We're going to take off the straight. So there's dedicated turn lane here. Just to come off, and we're going to come up here and make sure that nobody turns around. So we're going to say nope, you just keep on going straight, all three lanes, keep going straight. And of course we'll fix this one. Now I believe the fixes that are in place for this one is alt click, separate turning lanes for segment, separate turning lanes for the entire junction. So we want control click on this, whoops, want a control click here. And boom, got dedicated turning lanes on everything. I also want to make sure they're not putting in stoplights. Yeah, okay. A little bit loud on the noise there. I'll probably turn that down some. Don't need it that noisy on things. Yep, there's stoplights down here. Let's take those out. Not that anybody's traveling there. Take that stoplight out. That one's not on. That's good. Okay. So we also want, this is not dedicated turning lanes because it's all coming into it. So that's perfect. That will help with the flow of traffic immensely. So we always want to make sure we're keeping that in control as best as possible. Yeah, we got 3 lanes coming out of here and only need for 2 lanes right now, but we won't worry about that right now. So how are we doing? We don't have any demand whatsoever. Nobody wants to move into our city. What's going on? We have a little bit of a stall here. We're at 600 people though. I'm going to crank it up a little bit. Just about to hit it. Boom! Worthy Village. Nice. Okay, so now we have access to some district policy, or some districts we can lay in, some policies, second loan, district specializations, service policies, and now we get access to emergency services, which used to be called just fire department, and we have the police department and unique buildings, which we're not going to worry about that right now, and specializations, which we're not going to worry about in this area right now. We will get into more of that later on. So, but we have our police station firehouse that we're going to put in place here. We're going to drop one of those in lickety split so that we can start getting the happiness up here. And I think I'm going to drop the firehouse. Geez, I wanted to put it there. Oh, that's because of the power. I was just like, why can't I put this down here? We don't need that anymore because power distribution is all linked up and connected. That's excellent. This isn't hurting anybody having those along there, but I can put the firehouse now right up here on this corner. Just like that. Gets it on the industry side, which is important for me. I know it doesn't reach all the way over here to residential. We'll stick another one down here or something that can help these guys up here. But that's fire. Let's get a police station. This one I actually put on the side of the residents. Okay, so I'm back. I had to take a little break there, get a phone call. So where was I at? What was I doing? Who am I? Who are you guys? Oh, I was putting down a police station. So I want to put down a police station here on the residential side. Stick it directly across from the fire station. What the heck? And looks like we need to get some more water ran. So let's get over here. And do we need to take it? We don't need to take it out that one. We can go right here. Let's come out 22 units or 440 cost. Somewhere along here. Nah, I don't like that. I like to have it nice and straight. Sorry. So 22 units out. Let's run this puppy across. Probably run this one all the way over. We can extend this one up. And we can connect these up. Lovely. We don't have to connect these up, but what the heck? It makes the grid better. More better is always better. So we got a couple people complaining about trash right now. I'm really not highly encouraged to drop in a trash heap just yet. We're going to let it grow just a little bit more. Wait until we got about 8-9 people complaining about trash. And we're having some power issues over here. Looks like we're getting low on power. Let's raise that up. We'll bump it right up to 100%. Whoops. 100% right there. So that's good. We're at 40 megawatts, 23 demand, not too bad. And it looks like people are complaining about water now. Water's getting down in some questionable availability, but now it's coming back up. Weird. We'll bump this up 75% just to make sure everybody's happy. Keep the peeps happy. So we got 22,000. You know what? Wouldn't it be a bad idea to drop in another power plant, but we don't need it just yet? I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold off. Talk myself out of it right there. As soon as I talk myself into it, I talk myself out of it. So really don't need as much on this end for sure. I'm just going to get rid of that so we can see our roads nicely. Spin around here and we'll stick in another leg of this one. Should be the last one we can actually do here. Yep, that'll be nice. this all the way across. Drop in some cross sections. And that gives us nice expandability. We should be, look at that, we're at 1,052 people. We're growing, growing, growing. So the nice thing about police stations and firehouses is they do encourage people to upgrade. They do encourage people to keep building up. But if I don't get a trash heap in here quickly, people are going to be peeved about not having their trash picked up. So yeah, we're at right about the right spot here. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, probably more than one over here. 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that's perfect. So the trucks will head out. We can go have up to 15 trucks. They'll head out and get the trash rolling. They'll catch up on that over a period of time. We've still got a good resident demand, so let's drop some more residences in here. I'm going to alternate it a little bit, maybe spread out the traffic. We'll move up here and alternate out a few more as we move in the next set. And then we'll fill the blanks. That is not enough commercial. I am going to stick on an extension here. So we need to go to our 6-lane road. And let's extend out another 50. Or 50? No, 60. We'll go to another 60. There we go. Then we can start sticking in some commercials here as they have to fill in. People still complaining, but the trucks are out. They're doing their thing. He's full. He's full. He's getting full. I don't know what it is, but some reason it is visually satisfying to watch these guys fill up and to watch these little symbols go away when they reach them. You know, when they make it there anyway. I don't know why he stopped there. Just keep going, Haas. Get that garbage. Oh, he denied me. I thought he was going to get down here and get to this guy. Oh, he did get to this guy. Good. Oh, he's coming down and get this dude. Yeah, there you go. Fill her up. Look at that. 28% from one house. 68%. 85. Full by the end of the street. Not quite. Almost full by the end of the street. Nice. Strangely satisfying. I don't know why I like to watch those guys do that. The little things. The little things. Gonna kick this back up on the speedometer. We are about to hit, what is that, Tiny Town we're going after? Got Worthy Village, Tiny Town. Yep, we're on our way. We're only 100 people away. And this is cruising along, lickety-spit, lickety-spit, lickety-split. Look at that, Tiny Town. Ba-ga-ding, 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 ding, ba-ga-ding. Oh, hey, we get fishing industry. Well, look at that. Industry areas, fishing industry. All this, there's a lot here. Wow, there's a lot here. Celebrate. Fine for fireworks, but then you can have a fireworks celebration. Show in the park every night. Interesting. Night tours. Even more fun. See, all this is new to me. You know, as I mentioned in the intro, I played vanilla City Skylines. That's all I've played. That's the only city I've done. Built up a decent city of about 130, 140,000 people, I think I got to before I started getting some serious death waves and stuff not working like it's supposed to. Ooh, these ones have the canals. Now we got the canals. Nice. And zoo fences. Excellent. All kinds of parks. Nice. Creative arts. Parking garages. These are some of the assets I downloaded, I think. The parking garage, the standard parking garage. Pretty sure. Warehouse yard. Nice. Wow, there's a lot of stuff. Okay. I'm a little overwhelmed with all that. I have a lot of reading to do. Tell you what. Okay, so we got parks. I think it's time to get some people happy here. See if we can't get dog parks. Always really good because that is massive. Stick one right in the center here. Yeah. Boom. That should make everybody nice and happy. Get them upgrading. I'm like, why aren't I hearing anything? And it's because I didn't have my headphones on. Isn't that silly? But you guys can hear all the little ding ding dings going on. Nice. So that's good. Let's turn on and see how happy people are. Not awesome. But we'll throw another one in probably down here. Yeah. Probably throw another one in down here when we get around to it. Good. So where are we at? Okay, let's get some more residential in here. Let's speed this puppy back up. See a boot. Oh, education. People are not educated. Well, I can build a high school now too. So like I said, I want to put them down here along the end. Let's see, we'll stick one there. And probably every 3. Yeah. So one here for this group. Can't afford a high school now. That should work though. 2 of those to get things going. That should get people upgrading too. Yeah. Look at all this. Ding, 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 ding. Love it. Which drives up demand, so we got more residential demand. Oh, I was going to do the other side, wasn't I? Oh well, that's fine. Got some commercial demand, so we can go down the highway here. I think I'd rather just go down that highway. See if we can get one more. There we go. Ah, it still put it in over there. I didn't want that. Pause. Bingo. Okay, so we got nice coverage on that. How's our power doing? We're getting down. We need another power plant. I'm going to stick this one at the back over here next to the garbage. So that should seriously double. There we go, right up to 80. Perfect. More than enough on that. How's our water? We're still at 75% and still in the green. That's perfect. Got all kinds of poop flowing down the river. Awesome. Look at us go. Almost 2,200. We're really close to the 2,400 goal. That's all I want to get to today. So what can we do to boost workers when I have no demand at all? I do have Demand Master on, but I don't have it activated. I'm trying to do this old school wise. I mean, we're still getting 22, 23 people, so we'll hit our milestone. But when we come back for the next episode, we are going to have to address this worker problem, or else we're going to have a slew of abandoned buildings. We don't want that. Come on. And it's already happening. They're not even going to wait for the next episode. So this is getting us roughly to 2,500. 4 blocks gets us to roughly 2,500. So you can figure about another 2,500 out to here. We will probably extend across the water and build back here just to get this filled in. And if we have to, we'll go down here. But I'm hoping that there's enough industry to keep everybody busy and supplied and working. Not really happy about these workers. But yeah, it's at least we're moving up slowly. We just sit back here and watch it grow, and hopefully we can get to 2,400 here, and I'll work at what to assess when we come back. Boom town! Look at that. All right. So it happened while I was talking. Excellent. So now we got transport systems, taxis, tours, post service. I've never done post. That's going to be weird. Am I going to set up any kind of public transportation in this area? I don't think so. I don't plan to, but who knows. So that's it for this episode. We hit our 3 goals. I mean, they weren't that challenging to begin with, but you know, nevertheless, we set goals out. We achieved the goals. Pat on the back, fist in the air. Yeah, buddy. So as you go through the pan around here of showing the before and after, I'll likely try to blend these in future episodes. This episode, I'm just going to kind of show the pan around. And I'd like to just do that final plug. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, dislike, comment. Give me some feedback. Give me some constructive criticism. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. I'm going to address some noise issues with the city, ambient sounds and such. And we will see you next time. Thank you very much again. And everybody take care. Oh, this is a great spot for a clever outro. How about that? See ya.